Split, the newest film from M. Night Shyamalan, starring James McAvoy and Anya Taylor-Joy. And in actual fact, is personally the first Shyamalan film I've seen in cinemas. And whoa, what a film. I've seen a few of his more notable films such as Unbreakable Signs and The Sixth Sense, but he seemed to have slipped in quality since those films back at the early end of the 21st century. At least according to a lot of people. And that was a massive shame. Fortunately though, the majority of people seem to agree with this film alongside his 2015 film The Visit, which I actually haven't seen yet, are his return to form, as they typically say on the internet. And I'd have to agree. Split is a psychological horror thriller that works on all three of those levels, and excels in each of them as well, in my opinion. Now I'm going to say this. Spoilers! Yep, you heard it. If you haven't seen the film, you already know I like it, so go ahead and see if you are all wanting to carry on with this review. Sorry, but it's for the best. James McAvoy is terrifying, dark, funny, and viciously twisted as Kevin, a man who is suffering from a condition that causes him to have 23 different and unique personalities that take the light. Our first impression of him is as the kidnapping maniac with a strong posture and incredibly tense tone of voice. Derek, I think. Was it Derek? But there were times when he'd become a different personality, such as Hedwig, where I'd just feel so bad and guilty towards. And I kept having to remind myself that he was one of these other terrifying people that we were all scared of in the first place, which only made situations involving Hedwig that much more tense. The young star of the film, Casey, a young girl... One minute. The young star of the film, Casey, a young girl played by Anya Taylor-Joy, begins lying and using Hedwig to her own gain in an attempt to escape. And there's just that constant reminder that he could switch to any one of his harsher personalities, such as Derek, at any given moment, and come down on Casey and catch her out there and then. Awful. Just awful. And I loved it. Something Shyamalan did in the beginning was immediately sell me on the fact that he is a good director, as from what I remember as the first shot at least of the film, was he had a long shot of Anya Taylor-Joy's character Casey sitting at a large table in a well-lit cafeteria-style building, with her other friends kinda in the background I think, and he opted to shoot the opening shot using the famous vertigo effect. Technically known more as a variety of things such as the dolly zoom or a zolly, it immediately conveyed an uneasy presence towards this young female character. I believe the other two girls were chatting away in the background of her or something, with Casey just staring blankly into the distance away from them. The effect created was that of difference. I was aware that this girl did not fit in with the others, and that definitely played into the plot later on. And what I mean by that is that this girl is, excuse the language, a total bad beauty. She totally knows what she's up to and how to handle herself in these tough scenarios she's put into. She totally takes the risks where necessary, which are incredibly tense, such as when she is lying to Kevin's Hedwig personality. I mean, I don't think I could go through with that, even if I was in the situation. It shows how strong she is as a character, and I found the flashbacks as well gave some believability to her, to help explain why she has these trust issues and has all this sort of aware knowledge and how to handle these situations. By the end of the finale, I'm totally on her side, totally immersed in the dark horror events carried out. She's standing there with a shotgun, for example, staring down a dimly lit, never-ending corridor where Kevin has her at a dead end as he begins chasing her down whilst killing the lights as he gets closer and closer. Knowing the lack of shells she has for the shotgun, it just makes you wait for her to get the right timing and shot. I've only seen this Anya Taylor-Joy in one of the film, I think, and that was The Witch from some point early last year, and I thought she was great in that, but this really elevated her to my awareness. I'm really looking forward to see where she goes from here. I just can't believe that she's about the same age as me. She's off in Hollywood with outstanding films, and I'm here sitting in this room, all quiet, all alone. McAvoy gives such a great performance throughout, and one that does surprise you, as he has to work with 23 different personalities. He is the one who has to make the transition between each one of them and make them feel natural, different, and believable. I mean, he doesn't portray each and every one of those 23 personalities on screen, as there's perhaps more like 10 to 13 or something like that, I think. But even still, that's a huge job for McAvoy, and he pulls it off effortlessly. Like mentioned before, I began terrified of his character Derek, but felt sympathy towards him when he was Hedwig. But then back to being tense around him as the foreboding beast towards the end. They all feel like individual characters, even when he's switching between them on screen. It's almost like witnessing real life magic, if you ask me. Something else I found notable throughout the film was that of the use of sound. A lot of the scenes where Derek would visit the young girls in the room, I noticed some odd metallic humming in the background, as if it was coming from the pipes or boiler systems. I don't know if it was intentional or anything, but what sounded like diegetic sound was used just as well as a typical drone effect to help convey the evil nature of this character. I don't know if it's just me, but it added a natural, intense vibe to the scenes.
As if you're just snacking in the middle of your video.
I'm really hungry. Have you seen that? The cookie bit has been left open, so you can just...
Take that off.
Okay. Speaking of cookies, if you... What?
Speaking of cookies, I thought you were doing a review.
I am doing a review, but... Another small thing that I kind of loved was the creativity in the opening title sequence. I don't recall many title sequences using this much creativity for years. It was mainly your typical credits, such as written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan in white font against a black background, but with a fitting twist. There was multiple smaller copies of the text popping on and off screen every so often surrounding these main credits. It kind of resembles the main interchanging personalities of Kevin, the main star of the film. It's just something small, but it added a lot into those few opening minutes to me. Talking of clever, how about that last shot? I don't know about you, but that sent shivers down my neck. What happens was some woman, very unnaturally to be honest, begins asking her friend, whatever happened to that crazy guy in the wheelchair? After seeing some news coverage of the Kevin event on TV or in a diner or something, to which the camera began tracking forward, throwing focus to the man sitting behind her, or next to her. Just out of frame, it's Bruce Willis. He opens his mouth and says something along the lines of, Mr. Glass, he was put away, or something. And there's a name tag on his shirt that reads, Done. Everything immediately clicked together, and I was like, whoa. Honestly, I loved it. I loved that. Of course, that moment only really works if you've seen Shyamalan's other film, Unbreakable, from 2000, I think. As otherwise, you'll literally be left like, that's the guy from Die Hard! As some guy literally said as he walked past us, excitedly saying as the credits rolled in the cinema, sounding like he had no real idea as to what just actually happened. No, that was David Dunn. The superhero-ish type protagonist from Unbreakable. I didn't expect it. What this means is that these two films coexist in the same universe, and I think it works. Some people have trouble with the believability of Kevin's beast actions towards the end, and I did find that kind of odd, but that all made sense to me by the end of this film. This is great stuff. Anyway, I'm going to leave the review here. I just thought I'd share some of my own thoughts on the film Split. I'm aware that not everyone seems to like the film. Some people really don't seem to like the film, and I don't quite understand why. I think it's really well directed. I think it does have some cheesy lines of dialogue here and there, but for the most part it's well written. The cinematography is very atmospheric. The score is eerie, and the main two performances are great, with McAvoy putting in an incredibly memorable performance. My overall rating for Split is 9 out of 10. Oh, and by the way, what year would you say this film belongs to? Because technically it released in cinemas in 2017, but it had some festival runs late last year in 2016 and was already being reviewed by proper critics months ago. Because I'd say this was a 2017 release, but I'm not sure. Well, anyway, I suppose I better let you go now. Thanks for watching. Bye.